overthinking, a silent storm inside the mind. It's that endless cycle of thoughts that never stops spinning, even when the world outside is calm. We all do it. We replay old conversations, we analyze our mistakes, we imagine every possible outcome before it even happens. Our mind becomes a battlefield between what we said and what we could have said, between what happened and what might never happen. Overthinking is not just thinking too much, it's thinking in a loop that leads nowhere. It's like standing in quicksand. The more you struggle to find answers, the deeper you sink. Sometimes overthinking disguises itself as intelligence. It makes you believe that if you think long enough, you'll find control. But the truth is, the more you think, the less you live. You start to lose touch with the present. You stop enjoying small moments, a cup of tea, a walk in the evening, a smile from someone, because your mind is always somewhere else, trapped in the what-ifs and should-haves. The future becomes a constant source of anxiety, and the past becomes a wound you keep reopening. The reason we overthink is simple: fear. Fear of loss, fear of rejection, fear of making mistakes. Our mind tries to protect us by predicting everything, but in doing so, it steals our peace. It creates imaginary scenarios, imaginary problems, imaginary pain. We start fighting battles that don't even exist. Overthinking doesn't protect you. It only exhausts you. It's like trying to control the waves instead of learning to float. What we forget is that life will never be fully certain. There will always be questions without answers, paths without clarity, and moments without closure. The art of peace lies not in overthinking, but in acceptance, in letting things be. Sometimes, silence is wiser than analysis, and surrender is stronger than control. If you've ever laid awake at night, replaying moments in your head, wondering what you could have done differently, remember this: the moment is gone, but you are still here. Don't let your mind become a prison built by your own thoughts. You deserve rest. You deserve peace. You deserve to breathe without analyzing every breath. Start by noticing your thoughts without judging them. Let them come, let them go, like clouds passing in the sky. You are not your thoughts. You are the sky that holds them. The moment you understand this, overthinking loses its power. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop thinking and start living. Because peace is not found by solving your life. It's found by surrendering to it. And maybe, just maybe, when you stop searching for answers, life itself starts to make sense. This is Mind Mirror, reminding you that your thoughts don't define you, your awareness does. The mind is a powerful thing, but sometimes it becomes our own worst enemy. Have you ever found yourself replaying a single moment again and again? A conversation you wish went differently, a mistake you wish you could erase, or a future you can't stop worrying about? It doesn't shout. It whispers. It begins quietly, with one thought, one worry, one small doubt. And before you realize it, it becomes a storm inside your head. Overthinking is not thinking too much. It's thinking the wrong way, for too long. It's when your mind refuses to rest, when peace turns into pressure, and calm turns into chaos. We overthink because we care, because we fear losing something or someone, because we want control over what we cannot control. But here's the truth. No amount of thinking can change what's already happened, and no amount of worrying can stop what's meant to come. Overthinking is like sitting in a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but takes you nowhere. It traps you between the past and the future, while stealing the only thing that truly exists, the present moment. Sometimes we think that by analyzing everything, we'll find clarity. But overthinking doesn't bring clarity. It brings confusion. It fills your mind with what-ifs, maybes, and should-haves. It makes you doubt yourself, question your worth, and fear problems that don't even exist. It's a battle between your heart and your brain, between reality and imagination. The louder it becomes. But listen closely. You are not your thoughts. Your mind is a tool. It's meant to serve you, not control you. The moment you observe your thoughts, instead of believing them, you take your power back. Watch your thoughts come and go, like clouds passing through the sky. Remember, you are the sky, vast, infinite, untouched by the clouds that try to cover you. Peace doesn't come from controlling your thoughts. It comes from understanding them. When you start to notice the pattern, how your mind repeats, fears, and exaggerates, you begin to detach. And that is where healing begins. Every time you choose to breathe, instead of overanalyze, you win a small battle. Every time you let go of something you cannot control, you step closer to peace. So the next time your mind starts to spiral, don't run from your thoughts, but don't live in them either. Sit quietly. Feel your breath. Remind yourself, you are not trapped. The door was never locked. The world outside your thoughts is still waiting for you. Real, peaceful, alive. Because at the end of the day, overthinking doesn't change your future. It only steals your present. And the present moment is all you truly have. Overthinking, a silent storm inside the human mind. It doesn't shout, it doesn't warn, it doesn't knock before entering. It simply takes over. It starts with one small thought, one tiny doubt, one single what if. And before we even notice, it becomes a hurricane of emotions spinning non-stop inside us. Overthinking is not just thinking too much. It is thinking in circles that lead nowhere. We overthink when we replay old moments again and again in our head. Something we said years ago suddenly returns with full force. A small mistake that doesn't even matter anymore becomes a mountain in our mind. We relive conversations, we question our decisions, and we imagine outcomes that never happened. And every single time, the mind whispers the same question: what if I could have done better? But the truth is, overthinking is not about the past or the future. It is about fear. Fear of losing. Fear of failing. Fear of being rejected. Fear of not being enough. Overthinking grows in the empty spaces of the mind, filling every corner with doubts and insecurities. It takes the simplest situation and turns it into a complicated emotional puzzle. Sometimes overthinking feels like you're stuck in a room with no doors. You want to escape. You want peace. You want silence. But the mind keeps talking. It keeps reminding you of everything that hurts. It keeps showing you memories you don't want to see. It keeps creating scenarios that never existed. And the worst part is, you start believing those thoughts. You start believing that every fear is real, every worry is true, and every negative idea defines your reality. But here's the truth that many people forget. Your thoughts are not facts. They are just thoughts. You don't have to believe every fear that appears in your mind. Just because your mind imagines something painful doesn't mean your life is going in that direction. Overthinking feels powerful, but it is not stronger than you. It only survives when you give it attention. Most of the time, we overthink because we want control. We want to control outcomes, control feelings, control what others think, control how life unfolds. But life doesn't work that way. The more we try to control everything, the more anxious and overwhelmed we become. Overthinking is the brain's desperate attempt to predict the future. But ironically, it only destroys the present. Notice how the mind behaves when you're alone at night. The world becomes quiet, the lights are dim, the noise disappears. But your thoughts get louder.